All right, we're live. Thank you
Hello.
so much for watching, everybody. Welcome back to our Friday Facebook Live on Unconventional Asians, where we today have a very unconventional story to tell. Welcome, Diwa, to the
Hi, hello.
show.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
and
me.
thank you for being here. Just want to quickly introduce what he does and his really cool unconventional story. So Diwa is a Philippine-born independent composer, music producer, and content creator now based in the US. He's made it his personal mission to promote the sound of the hegalong, a two-string lute from the Philippines. He has won awards and rave reviews for his film scores in the Philippine film industry. He wrote the music for what is it, Brillante Mendoza,
Yeah.
AMO, the first Philippine uh, Netflix series. He's now a YouTuber, content creator, known as String Player Gamer, where he produces video game music covers for his many subscribers. Now you have like, what is it, 200,000?
150.
Yeah,
150,000, something like that.
150,000 subscribers, right? Because it's like just going up every day. And his music has been streamed over 38 million times on Spotify under the String Player Gamer brand. So, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited because so many people are interested in, putting their passion online, and
Yes,
you have been able to do that successfully. So we can't wait to dig in to ask you many questions on how
absolutely.
we can navigate it that because, especially during this difficult time, I think a lot of people are now thinking on what they can do and bring that online so that we
Mhm.
have more flexibility. So let's start with your story. Like, how did you? Because you were actually a filmmaker in the Philippines,
Oh, film composer.
a film composer.
I
Sorry,
wish I
is
could be
a
a
yeah
filmmaker
maker.
too.
Yeah, film composer. Right. Oh, hello,
Yes.
Michelle. Michelle is here with us. And you were doing that in the Philippines, and you actually took a big leap and came to the States. And what
Yes.
made you decide to do that?
Oh yeah. So I started doing music gigs even
Mm-hmm.
as early as college back in 1999. I was still doing 1 year in architecture,
Oh
believe it or
wow.
not, because
Okay.
I thought after going to visual arts in an arts high school, I thought architecture was the
Right.
proper path.
Right. Right.
But the funny thing is, even as an architecture student, I was already getting like music gigs left and right from
Mm.
like freelance stuff, and I was like, "What the hell am I doing in architecture?" So I shifted to music major composition. I never looked back,
Mm.
and that is actually led to 2006 to be me being hired for the first time to write music for an independent film, and that just kind of jump started this. Uh, networking style of things where people would like recommend me, oh, get Diwa, and it's just like uh it's like a connect the dots networking thing where I
Mm.
just keep meeting these film producers, these film directors, or friends of film directors, and because in the Philippines, although the music industry and the film industry is quite solid, it's
Mm.
also a very small
Right.
community. So
Hmm.
it's like, the usual everyone knows everyone and people talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've kept on doing that routine for almost like 10 years
Wow.
almost 10 years. But at the same time, while that was going on, I was already experimenting on this new website called
Mm.
YouTube.
Right. Right. Back in the day.
Yes, and I was already a very, very avid video gamer ever since I was a kid when I played Mario Brothers for the first
Mm.
time with my uncle's family computer. That was
Hmm.
what it was called in the Philippines. So that kind of jump started me a passion for gaming, which led to the YouTube experiment for me, where I
Mm.
was like filming myself playing music for like Legend of Zelda or Super Mario Brothers, and kind of just putting out stuff of experimental stuff of me playing my violin, singing,
Mm.
singing and playing the violin together. And I was like,
Oh.
Look, this sounds fun. Maybe I'll put something up. And then what I didn't realize is that there is actually a solid community of in a solid international community of video game music fans.
Mhm.
Video game music, aka VGM, as we call it shortly, is actually a solid phenomenon that has only grown stronger because of the internet.
Mhm.
And I only discovered about that community when I started posting these video game music covers on YouTube. And then some websites like Kotaku.com featured my first Legend
Wow.
of Zelda cover on YouTube. And people were like going to my YouTube videos and watching it and commenting. And what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
It was like, I'm viral now?
And at the time, you were still in the Philippines.
And that time I was still in the Philippines, still full time as a film composer. And then it kind of gradually exponentially grew organically, the YouTube thing,
Mhm.
until around 2013 when it started to kind of overtake the
Mm.
financial earnings. The financial earnings in my film scoring career in the Philippines was actually a comfortable rate of return for someone
Okay.
living in the Philippines with
Right.
the expenses of the Philippines. But when my YouTube channel started taking off, it grew exponentially, like an almost 90-degree climb
Wow.
at a certain apex. And it was like, phew. And then 2013 was the moment when I started to realize, looks like this YouTube thing is gonna obliterate any any financial rewards that I'm getting from the film music,
Right.
from film music.
Yeah.
And it was like, I could actually see the upwards trajectory, and it's gonna really steamroll anything that I was doing in film music. And it did. And it did
Right.
eventually around 2016, 2017. That was like, okay, film music career over. Not literally, but it was like I virtually abandoned a successful film music career because I was more passionate about video game music. This is
Yeah.
my childhood. This is what I like. I
Mm.
love games. I'm still an active video gamer even today, and I really live in that gaming culture.
Mhm.
Plus, I have a music degree, so why not just combine the
Combine
two
the two
passions together and like make
and
a
make more
career out of
money.
it?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's that decision to finally nail down that decision that happened around 2015, 2016. Okay,
Mm.
that's it. YouTube.
Right. So let me backtrack then. You started YouTube in 2006, did you say?
um I made the account in 2006, but the first
Okay.
upload was around 2007.
I
And
see.
2008, that was the time when I got like viral with my first Zelda
Right.
video. And right now, that video, that first viral video, it's sitting at 1.4 million views.
Wow. Well, we're gonna look that up now. We're gonna put
Yes.
a link in the description later. So that's interesting. So it still took a few years,
It
you would
still took a
say.
few years. Yes, it
Right.
still took a few years. It's a very slow uphill climb, but
Hmm.
there will be a certain moment when it's gonna go exponentially whoosh,
Right.
right up.
Right. That's a common pattern I hear from a lot of people from like the
Yes.
online world. It's
Yeah.
like the first few years, it's like nothing, nothing, nothing. And then all of a sudden you're like viral, right?
Yeah, because
And
these are the times when people are slowly trickling in. They're only starting to discover you
right.
through search algorithms, to recommendations or automated recommendations. Even now, it's actually easier now because of
Mm,
automated recommendations, where that
right.
didn't exist before.
Right, that's right. So how did you stay? I guess because you already had another career, so you weren't expecting to rely on this YouTube
Yes.
career. So you were just kind of doing both at the same time, anyways.
Yes, but the funny thing is, before I even focused on the film music career, I did the 9 to 5. I was a call center agent. I was a
Wow.
quality assurance agent at a local gaming company. I did all those
You were hustling.
rites of passages, as one
Mm,
would say.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it never happens overnight. No,
Mm,
it never happens overnight. It
yeah.
never happened overnight for me. And I think when someone says I'm an overnight success, I think they're just hyping up themselves too much.
There were many years of unseen effort that was put in.
Yes, and but people only see the success, you know.
Right.
So it's like that iceberg meme.
Exactly right. You only see the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more at the bottom that is completely hidden.
Mm.
That's so true. Yeah. So Howie was saying here, do you have a favorite video game soundtrack or composer?
Oh yeah, I have a top three. My go-to
Oh, what
top
are your
three
top
is
three?
Super Mario and Legend of Zelda composer Koji Kondo. My
Uh-huh.
number two is Final Fantasy composer
Mm,
Nobuo Uematsu, and my number three is Xenogears Xenoblade Chronicles Chrono Trigger composer Yasunori Mitsuda. These are like the
oh,
superstars of a video
yeah.
game music world.
Yeah. Have you met them in person?
Not
Any of them?
yet, but I
Yeah.
have I have indeed met some composers here in America, like the Journey composer Austin Wintory. He's a cool guy.
Amazing, amazing. That must be such a cool experience to kind of
Yes,
meet like your
definitely.
role models, right? Yeah. So let's get back to like how then you made the decision to come to America.
Yes, because like I said, what I was earning, all the rate of return for my film music career in the Philippines was actually already a comfortable thing, and I could have just stayed there
Right,
and lived comfortably in
right.
the Philippines. But the living expenses in the Philippines is 10 times lower than the living expenses here in the United States.
Hmm.
But I had bigger dreams. It's like the saying. So when when I could already see that what I was earning in YouTube is like more than 10 times what I was earning in film music in the Philippines, I was like, oh, maybe I could even dream bigger. I could go to a bigger ocean because
Mm,
Philippines, for example, the music industry in the Philippines is like it's like its own lake, right?
mm,
But I want to go to the bigger ocean and go with the bigger fishes and something like that.
hmm.
And what I was doing in YouTube, it's video game music. There is a bigger international video game music community out there.
Yeah,
And in the Philippines, video game music or the video game industry, even in the Philippines, is virtually non-existent. There are
right.
no major gaming companies or gaming studios in the Philippines,
Mm.
and only until like a few years ago when I was already here.
Oh,
Uh,
then they are finally starting.
yeah, but they're only starting now. But the real big party of video game music and the gaming festivals like the Music and Games Convention or MagFest, it's all happening here in the
Mm,
United States. And I want to be where the action is. And because of the earnings in of the what I was earning already in YouTube, even back in 2016, I was able to fund myself to travel and inspect the house, so to speak,
okay. Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
travel to the
yeah.
United States,
Right.
both
And
West Coast and East Coast, to kind of do a test run of if I will like actually the environment here, like the
mhm,
culture here, or living here, or even the people that I meet in the gaming industry. And
yeah.
it's like 11 over 10, yes.
I love it over 10. I love it. Yeah, this is like when you're so passionate with something and you just know
Yeah.
it's right for you.
This is like the turning point. 2016, my first trip to Music and Games Festival in Maryland,
Hmm.
the or MagFest. In this 3 day or 4 day convention that celebrates music and video games together, when I was walking the hallways of the venue, people were recognizing me. Hey, aren't you that
Wow.
string player gamer from YouTube? That never happens in the Philippines.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God, people know me. They know me. What I was working on back in the Philippines, it's going back.
It's coming
It's like
together.
it's coming
Yeah.
together. And so it's with that realization that people know
Mm.
who I am. This is the right place. This is where I should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. I
So
love that.
I focus, I laser focus on how to get to the United States. So
Mm.
after in that exact same trip in 2016, after MagFest, because that was East Coast,
Right.
Maryland, and I have an aunt and a cousin in New York. So
Mm.
naturally, I paid them a visit after that convention.
Hmm.
And in that trip in New York, I met another Filipino artist, Anne Ubaldo, and she was already living for 40 years in New York as an
Okay.
artist, as a full-time
Okay.
artist. What?
Wow.
You can make it as an artist in America?
Yeah.
But isn't it expensive? Especially you're living in New York. And it was like,
Right.
how did you do that? How did you do that? And
Yeah.
she told me, oh, yeah, call this number. There, she gave me two
Okay.
numbers of immigration lawyers. The
Okay.
first one didn't answer. The
Mm.
second one picked up right away because I was already kind of hyped up to the
Mm-hmm.
lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Suffice to say, this lawyer, she turned out to be also Filipina, but she's
Mm.
based in the United States, and she's a highly recommended immigration lawyer by fellow Filipino artists who also successfully migrated via her process.
Okay.
And that's it. This lawyer, she told me, okay, send me everything, send me
Mm-hmm.
your CV, don't omit anything out. So I sent her like if I were to print it on actual paper, it was a PDF, but if I were to
Okay,
print it
well,
on actual paper, it would be maybe like this thick.
yeah, because so much
Everything that
credentials.
yeah, everything that have done since 1997, all the projects, all the performances, everything,
Mm,
I put it there, and she was like, I emailed it to her. She emailed back to me after 1 or 2 hours. You have a chance. Let's do this. And
amazing.
then and for the next 2 years, 2017, early 2017, early 2016, I was only focused on processing on the process. So
Yeah.
it is such a tedious process because my visa type is the E11 visa, or the
Okay.
alien with extraordinary ability.
Mm.
This type of visa is usually rewarded to uh, uh, Oscar winners or
Oh,
athletes,
wow.
Olympic gold medalists, or Nobel
Wow.
Prize winners, but they also have a criteria for an individual with local acclaim in their country.
Mm.
So I had to prove that I have local
Yeah.
acclaim.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I took pictures of all my award certificates, of all my trophies, and I even asked mentor figures from all industries in film music, in music, in even the dean of my college. Hey, sir, man, can you please write me a recommendation letter? Recommendation letter? What for? Oh, I'm moving to the United States. What?
Is
And
but is it a common thing? It's a common occurrence, right, in the States for people to move over, but maybe in a different profession, obviously.
yes, I think it's common. The common visa type is H-1B, where they have to be employed by a company here
Right.
before they're even granted. But even
Yeah.
then, it's not even a green card. It's just a visa. It's just
Mm-hmm.
a regular visa. The
Yours
extraordinary, yeah, it's
is a
just
green
like a
card.
work. It's not a yeah, yeah. Mine is directly a green card.
Wow.
So it is because it is so rare. I think there's only like a quota of 50 applicants every year. Something like it's such a rare type of visa.
Wow. Good for you.
I heard from the grapevine that this was also the same visa type used by John Lennon and Yoko Ono when they moved to New York. I don't have any way to confirm that, but it's probably true.
That's amazing. Yeah, see right here, we're like, what? Yeah, I know we're
So
so
yeah,
amazed.
that is like the biggest jackpot I have meeting
Yeah.
that lawyer, and she's very accommodating, and she even has this friendly payment scheme, and was like, and everything that I used to pay her, all the fees and all those application fees, it is all because of what I earned on YouTube. I could afford an immigration lawyer thanks
Right.
to video game music and my experiment in
Good for
2006.
you. Yeah, to be so adventurous like that, to kind of like put the risk out there and try this thing that you know you're aligned and passionate about. Because
Yeah.
that still takes a lot of courage, right? And I
Yeah.
know that you actually have family still back in
Yes.
the Philippines too.
Yes.
So that's like
And
another level.
yes, exactly. And they're also part of the green card. They're
Oh,
also
they
part of the
are.
application.
Oh,
And
wow.
they were supposed to be moving in, but COVID and all, so we just gonna wait until it's safe.
Yeah, yeah. So you have a wife and
Mm.
was it a son?
Daughter, a
A
daughter.
daughter. Okay. How old is your daughter?
She's turning 18 next year.
18. Wow. Oh, that would be so amazing when they are able to move over.
Yes.
So did you see them quite frequently, like when like just traveling back and forth, like
No,
before?
because they're already like locked in the visa application process. They cannot actually travel as tourists. because
Oh,
I'm the only one who can travel back, which I did
okay, okay.
at least once.
Right, right. And that's interesting. Wow. Okay, so as soon as basically the world opens up, then they're able to come.
Yes, that's the
Oh,
plan. That's the
yeah,
ideal situation.
yeah. Fingers crossed. Wow,
But
that's amazing.
since we still don't know when the actual world will officially open up, so
Right, right.
I'm
But
just
at
gonna
least,
have to be a long distance dad for the meantime.
yeah, yeah. Oh, but that's so amazing. The fact that, you did this and for a better future for them, right?
Yes, yes.
And I know it's not a common occurrence, but I guess maybe more common than other cultures, that there's a lot of Filipinos that go overseas to kind of like make a better living,
Yeah, I
and then
mean,
kind of send the money back home.
yes, yes. That's we actually even have a term for that. It's called OFW, or Overseas Filipino Workers,
Right,
and these are a bunch of H-1B type of visa holders who usually go to the usual go-to places are like Hong Kong,
right.
UK, Saudi Arabia, America, and these are usually engineers or nurses or
Mhm.
domestic helpers. But
Right.
musicians, not so much.
Very rare. That's the thing. And now I know that you also have a very unconventional family because they were pretty
Yes.
much all musicians. And how did that come about? And
Oh,
why did you
okay.
pick arch? Because again, like you were kind of being a rebel in that.
I know, I know. Okay, funny
Yeah.
story. Okay, uh, the music in my family runs way, way back to my great grandfather. His name is Ladislao Bonus, and he is attributed to be the first Filipino composer to ever write operatic music for
Wow.
Filipino operatic music.
Wow.
But then my actual grandfather, my immediate grandfather, he is Felipe Padilla de Leon. He is uh he is a national artist for music in the Philippines. A national artist award is an actual government award in the Philippines. That's kind of equivalent to the Presidential Medal of Freedom for the arts in America. And
Wow.
he is one of the recipients of that because he's done so much contributions to uh, uplifting Philippine music and
Mm,
uplifting the classical style of Philippine music. And
yeah.
his, his style is using traditional folk songs of the Philippines, traditional
Oh,
rural folk songs, and then composing them for a piano, for an
oh,
orchestra, and
interesting.
then showcasing them as serious concert music.
Wow.
And he is attributed to have composed the first full-length Filipino opera in the Philippines. And his Christmas songs that he's written like 4 or 5 Christmas songs that are now part of Christmas traditions. It's like
That
it's
is
it's like
incredible.
it's like if you say your grandfather composed Jingle Bells, and then Jingle Bells is being sung all around the world. His Christmas songs are being sung all around the country in
Wow,
the
the
Philippines,
country.
even
Yes.
today.
And Kyle, he says Diwa is royalty. Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
I,
But
I
yeah,
would imagine the pressure. Like,
exactly. We're getting to that. We're
we're
getting to
getting
that.
there. We're getting there.
So imagine this, okay? every time there's every time it's my grandfather's or my grandmother's birthday. So my
Yeah,
grandmother, the wife of the national artist,
right.
is a noted concert pianist. So
It's like all in your genes.
it is. So the funny thing is, every cousin, and I have they have 7 children, my 7 aunts and uncles, including my dad, and
Yeah.
each one has like 2 or 3 sons and daughters, my cousins, and each one of us was prescribed to learn the piano at an early age.
Of
Every
course.
one of me and my
Mhm,
cousins, even if some
mhm.
of them became lawyers, even if some of them became engineers,
Oh, okay.
we know how to play the piano.
Hmm.
We know the Bachs and the Beethovens, even my grandfather's pieces, we'd also play them. And imagine this, every time there's a birthday of my grandfather or my grandmother,
Yeah.
there's a line. There's a line of cousins from youngest to oldest lining up to be the next performer for the piano,
Oh my
to play
goodness.
their next level of piece.
And do they judge you, like, and give you like
Uh,
constructive feedback? Like, how does that
not
work?
really. It's not really. There's no judgment that's happening, but it's more like an expected tradition in the family because everyone's like
Interesting.
musically inclined, and everyone's. I think
Wow.
only my grandmother is like, "Oh, cousin number one, are you gonna play this piece? Oh, okay, okay, very good, very good." It's like
Wow.
imagine a high school recital where all the parents are there, but this time
Oh, but
around,
it's like you're for your own family.
it's the family members.
That is so cool though. Do you ever actually play together?
Some yes, we actually had
Oh.
family concerts, a family string group at one time. We perform in like the what is considered like the Carnegie Hall of the Philippines, the cultural center of the Philippines. We would
Wow.
stage concerts there as an entire family. All even my aunts and uncles from Los Angeles and New York would fly over to join the concert. Sometimes we did that on I think the 85th anniversary death anniversary of my grandfather, or something like
Mm,
that. There's if there's an anniversary or an occasion that celebrates my grandfather's music or his legacy, we would always make a big fuss out of it.
right. Yeah. Well, rightly so. And Kyle here says,
Lies.
lies. There's no judgment. Families always judge each other.
Hey,
Wow.
I'm trying to be polite here, but
Yeah. Wink, wink. We know what you mean.
I know, we Asians, Asian
We're
families.
Asians. Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
going back to that pressure that
that's
you're
right.
referring to, as I was going to high school,
Hmm.
I actually took the audition for visual arts and music at the Philippine High School for the Arts.
Okay.
At that time, and I think even at still this time, it is the only art school that is a boarding school that is publicly funded in the Philippines,
Oh wow. Okay.
and only like it can only house around 200 students from first year to seniors at every given school year. And
Okay.
I
That's
took the
small.
audition for that, and I passed both music and visual arts because I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
also dabbling in
Oh,
visual,
so gifted.
because I was already dabbling in visual arts. The arts and the music and all the types of arts is highly encouraged in our family. It's such a
Mm,
normal thing to be an
wow.
artist in the family,
Oh,
and that is why
that's amazing.
there's this pressure that, okay, you must learn music to continue the legacy of our family. And I was like, really, I have that responsibility now? And I was like, no, I'm gonna take visual arts. So i I ignored that I passed music in the arts high school, and
Hmm.
just decided, okay, I'm gonna be a rebel. I'm not gonna do music just because you told me to. I'm gonna do visual arts. And for the 4 years, yeah, going back to what what I my earlier story about architecture. So I finished
Right.
the 4 years of high school as a visual arts major. I even had a thesis exhibition, and typical anything that typical art student activities like holding exhibits, thesis defense, and all that. It's like first 2 or 3 years of an arts college, something like that.
Hmm.
That it
Hmm.
was intensive,
Yeah.
and I thought the next logical path going to college is, oh, visual arts. Maybe I should take
Architect.
architecture now,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
it's kind of like a logical, what I
Next
thought a
step.
logical leap of career or something
Yeah.
like that. I was so wrong. I was so totally wrong, because in visual arts you are encouraged to be free, explore this and explore that, no limits, no boundaries. Your imagination is your limit.
Mm,
But in architecture, it's all about measurement, rules, lines, and
it's complete
exact.
opposite.
Yes, and I was like, oh my god, why did I do this to myself?
That is interesting because you know how families usually push you to do a certain thing and then you sometimes don't want to listen to them. And then when you actually go explore the world and realize that it's in your genes, in your blood, that's actually your passion, it's so ironic that you go back to it.
Exactly, exactly. In fairness, I could just say, "Oh, I realized this all by myself without anyone telling me." We have that pride.
You're
Oh,
like,
I
otherwise, like,
discovered
I
this.
told you so.
No, no, no. It's my self growth. It's just me. I realized that on my own.
But that's amazing that eventually you did try because you wouldn't know if you didn't kind
Yeah,
of go
exactly.
the off the track. And then now you know for sure that this is your calling.
And it's funny because back in high school I formed a bond with four of my classmates, and we formed
Mm.
a band. We
Oh,
formed
fun.
we formed a band, a world music band, some sort of tribal fusion music jam, where
Ooh.
I started fusing the hegalong, the aforementioned two-string
Right.
instrument, and the violin, and we were combining all these
Oh,
experimental type of sound using
yeah.
traditional Philippine indigenous music and rock music and all. We call it
Wow.
the Healing Ensemble.
Okay.
We named it after the mountain. Mount Makiling is the mountain where the Arts High School is situated in,
Oh, I see. I
and
see.
it's a boarding high school that's located on a mountain, a
That's
very
beautiful.
forest, peaceful mountain that's also
Wow.
has lots of myths and legends of its own, like forests and trees, and all those folk tale. It has that mystery. So I formed that band with my high school buddies, and it was so convenient that because all these high school buddies, we ended up in the same university, in the University of the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy for us to get together, rehearse, and do gigs in the local area,
Yeah.
which we did for 10 to 20 years until we
Well,
were
10 to
we
20 years.
yeah, and we got to perform everywhere, like internationally, Malaysia, Germany, you name
Wow.
it. We did the tour, the band touring
Mm-hmm,
band and
mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And this was already starting, the birthplace, the birth of this idea of the band was already taking shape even as I was in the architecture college. And it was
Right.
like, and then to top it off, I was already getting like songwriting gigs from friends
Wow.
of friends, and was like, oh yeah, Diwa, he knows music, just get him. Oh, okay, okay. I didn't
Mm,
even know anything about negotiating my rates, or
right.
it just happened all on the fly.
Right.
And it was already happening, taking shape during architecture college, and it was like,
Mm.
what the hell am I doing in architecture?
You're making money like already on the
Yeah,
side, right? So it's like don't
exactly.
ignore it.
And I was like, I said I'm not gonna do music, but it's chasing me fast. And I was
Really
like,
fast.
really
Really
fast. And I was
fast.
like, all right, here, I'll
Fine. It was
embrace you. Music,
surrender.
come here, music. Come here, my friend. Come back here.
Yeah, that's amazing. So like, I'm gonna ask like some more deep questions in terms of
Yes.
like
Let's
money.
go deep.
Well, we're gonna ask about money. So how for a YouTuber then, or YouTube content creator,
Yes.
um, what was your first paycheck like? Like how did it feel? How much do you make? And then because like that must be exciting.
Yes. Monetization was finally enabled in my YouTube channel in 2013, because at that time it was such a rigorous process, and only
Mhm.
certain partners get to be able to get
Right,
monetized videos.
right.
But I got that enabled in my YouTube channel in 2013, and my first ever registered earning is, and I can't ever forget this,
Yeah.
0.13 cents.
Mm,
That
yeah.
is the number.
Right,
That is the
right.
number that I'll never forget. I
Yeah.
started earning on YouTube with 13 cents.
Mhm.
Imagine that.
Yeah, yeah. And how
And
many like YouTube views was that? Was it based on views and back in the
uh,
day?
it's still based on views and watch
Yeah.
time, but it's such a complicated metric. It's such a
Mm,
complicated metric. They call it CPM, or
okay.
click per mil, or theoretically every 1,000 clicks you get
Ah,
an extra as equivalent number. But
right,
then again, there's so many factors, like who watched it, where did they watch it from, how long did they watch it,
right.
what device did they watch it. There's just so many factors that
Mm,
I don't know. I don't even know the
yeah, how
formula.
it works. And I imagine it's even more difficult nowadays to
It's
earn money,
yeah,
right?
it's more difficult now. But the idea is this. Um, I think you're gonna hear the 2019 or 2020 online business gurus always say
Right.
this line: diversify.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But I would actually agree with that, because back in 2013, just focusing all your efforts on YouTube would work in that year.
Right.
But now it's YouTube has become so saturated. There's so much competition. It's so much harder to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And I am still thankful that I still have the advantage of being an early adopter, as they
Yeah.
would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I have built up a community and in YouTube, but the actual earnings from just YouTube, the ad revenue that will only buy you maybe a nice gourmet meal per week, something like that.
Right. Right.
But it's never been about relying on YouTube ads for
Mm-hmm.
music. All right, I'm
Mm-hmm.
only
Mm-hmm.
talking about on the point of
Yeah.
view of a music YouTuber,
Right.
because when it comes to vloggers or tutorials, it's a different metric because their
Mm-hmm.
videos are usually longer.
Right.
So they have a different frame of mind when it comes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to how they handle YouTube. But
Yeah.
for me, I upload music videos, and music videos typically only last 3 to 4 minutes, five
Mm-hmm.
minutes max.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of on the shorter type of content,
Right.
and that doesn't generate much in terms of watch time, because
Mm.
YouTube started valuing watch time more than
Yeah.
the number of views back
Right.
in, I think, 2017 or
Okay.
2016. It's now all about the watch time. How long you watch the video, that will push you
Mm.
more. Instead of it back in the day where, oh, this video has million views, therefore we will push it.
I
But
see. Got it.
that's no longer the case.
Right.
It's a combination of watch time, audience retention, and view
Mm.
count is kind of like the last
Interesting.
factor.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay. So that's why it's important to diversify because you can't rely on YouTube constantly changing the algorithm.
Yes. So this is what I would always push to fellow musicians, because I am also passionate about helping independent musicians
Mm.
when I see that, oh, this musician is exerting some effort to try to grow an online following. Okay, I
Yeah.
will befriend this musician and
Mm.
maybe help them, because I'm passionate about that,
Yeah.
because I I did this online music independent music journey alone, and there's no tutorials to follow, no
Right.
no online business gurus at that time, so I had to wing it, all of it. And
Mm.
I was like, if I could just share some of what I learned and the mistakes that I learned, so this new music friend of mine doesn't have to repeat it, maybe
Mm. That's
that's how I can contribute my knowledge.
yeah.
So this is what I would always say in terms of the going back to the term diversification. This is
Mm-hmm.
what I would always say. You have to focus on a music platform that is audio only. And right now, Spotify is the biggest fish,
Why audio only?
followed by Apple Music, and then we have Amazon MP3, Deezer, Google Play when it was still
Okay.
open, but now it got absorbed by YouTube Music.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then you have to focus on a video platform. Right now,
Okay.
it's YouTube.
Right.
Right, there's
Right.
no contest even.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook video maybe, but YouTube is kind of more evergreen.
Mm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
much
Mm-hmm.
easier to navigate YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
they have a very fancy discovery algorithm that will push your video if you titled it right or put the thumbnail right. In terms of discoverability, YouTube is still the best. So this is what I would say. Um, YouTube is the showroom.
Mm.
Spotify is where the contracts are signed.
Oh,
And
interesting.
then the couch or the hangout area with your fans is whatever live streaming app you choose. For right now, it's either YouTube streaming or Twitch streaming. So for me personally, I have YouTube for my music videos, with evergreen content that can be searchable even 10 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
provided
Mm-hmm.
they stay on,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not go the MySpace way. uh, and then all my CDs, my audio releases, my albums, it's also all released on Spotify, because they have also a different a CPM that goes on there.
Yeah.
And that is where people can discover you just for the merit of your music.
Mm. Yeah.
And
All that.
then I have a Twitch account where I used to where I do like bi-weekly live stream events where my viewers can request me to perform my own arrangements of video game music on my violin. And so that is like
Mm,
the hangout place, the community engagement
yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
then, of course, you also need to have Twitter or Instagram just to announce things or to kind of have a presence, a short form presence, because
Mm,
YouTube is a long form
right.
space. You can have
Yeah.
10-minute videos, an hour videos, but Twitter and Instagram, these are more like the
They're
short form
instant.
spaces
Hmm.
where people can see previews of your music videos, or you can just sometimes video yourself practicing. It's a bit different,
Yeah.
but it's the best that people see you everywhere. And even if you're not having any projects, if you keep posting and being online, present online,
Yeah.
people can still know you. Oh, he exists. Oh, man, let's keep listening to his music on Spotify. Because
Right.
you just kind of have to constantly remind people, hey, hi, I
Yeah, you
exist. I have
hear.
music on Spotify. Even if I'm not doing any new videos this week, I still have,
Mm,
this evergreen content. You can watch it anytime.
right, right.
Click it.
I see. So just to remind people, you recycle the content.
Yeah, yeah. It's you kind of have to repurpose, because, for example, if I filmed a 5-minute music video, it's definitely a YouTube content, 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But for Instagram and YouTube, that's too. For Instagram and Twitter, that's too long.
That's too long.
So I cut down that video to like 30 seconds or 1 minute,
Yeah.
and just
Mm,
just like
like a
hide
teaser.
like a teaser of it. Oh, if you want to watch the full video, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. So it's
Mm,
it's like you're interconnecting your
all the
social media
platforms
pages.
together.
Yeah.
Mm,
And then the
love that.
final destination, there's like YouTube is the showroom, and then below in the video description, you have to post your Spotify links, and then you can post your Twitch links as well. So,
Mm,
I have like, they discover me on YouTube, yes, but they can either go the Spotify way or the Twitch way if they really want to see me live, or
mm.
why not both?
Yeah, yeah. Then now that's a lot of work. How do you manage all of that? Like, do you
Oh,
do it all on your own?
um, I do it all on my own. Even the
Wow.
the filming, the video editing, the music production, I do it all on my own. I don't have a
Yeah,
team.
right.
For the longest time, I wanted to hire an editor just to see if this
Hmm.
different in style. But I ended. I always end up doing it myself, because you know what? I'm just gonna do this myself because I have a very specific
Yeah,
style and vision. Uh, I think it's not really too much work if you equate it to, this is my real job. This is my full-time job. This is my real
right.
job.
Hmm.
So I guess if you are passionate about your job, your career, no matter how passionate you are in your career, there will still always be the unexciting parts
Yes.
of the business, like, oh,
Hmm.
updating my Twitter feed, oh, computing taxes, oh, how much did I earn, oh my god, I have to, business planning. These are all parts of it.
Yeah.
And I have forced myself, because back in college, I would like, when someone in college, or when someone would ask me, oh, how much do you charge for a 3-minute song?
Hmm.
I go bonkers.
Right.
And I knew that I needed to improve that. So I needed to learn how to negotiate. I needed to be a bit more scripted with my response. So what I thought, because I'm a total introvert. I'm a total
Mm.
introvert, INFJ, something like that, like
Okay. Yeah.
a
Hmm.
half introvert, half extrovert type of person.
Okay.
Uh,
An
but
ambivert. Yeah.
yes, so I forced myself to memorize some internal scripts. Oh, so if someone asks me
Mm.
how much would you charge for oh, these are my rates. If it's a 3-minute song, this is that. But then
Mm.
I went even one step further, not just teaching myself or forcing myself how to learn how to negotiate business wise, but to be actually thinking business wise, to have a
Mm.
mindset not just of an artist, but also of a business person or an
Yes.
entrepreneurial mindset. And that was the skill developed, because I already know, oh, I already have a kind of established musical skill
Hmm.
set.
Hmm.
What else can I do? How can I push that further? What can I do if I want to be my own boss? Because at that
Yes.
time I was like, oh, I don't like a 9 to 5. I don't want being ordered around. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was a call center and a 9 to 5 job, and I didn't really like that environment. I'm not
Yeah.
really a corporate person type
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
guy. And all I wanted really, even when I was a teenager, oh, I want to be a rock star. I want to be like Kurt Cobain, my idols in the 90s. Um, and then how can I do that? How can I do that? And then people kept saying, oh, you have to be a business person. You have to develop business skills. And I was like, oh, business? Boring. I'm an artist. I'm creative. I
Right.
don't do
Right.
business stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
that's like super childish me. And I was like, I eventually, again, realized on my own that I needed to be like that. And yeah,
Good for
I
you.
so thankfully by that time that I'm having that realization, uh business tutorials for artists were already starting to pop
Mm,
up on YouTube.
I see.
And
I was gonna
and
ask you where you find those information.
yeah, YouTube, everything is on YouTube.
Everything's
So,
YouTube. Okay.
and of course, I would also I tried asking my local music heroes in the Philippines, but these local music heroes of mine, even if I admire their skill in music, but there's still some sort of guardedness, being guarded about
Mm,
sharing success secrets, because
yeah. Yeah.
I could understand, especially in the old guard, with the old guard of the industries. If any
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
industry, the old guards of any industry would like to kind of prolong their dominance, so to speak.
Yes.
So I couldn't really rely
Mm,
on learning from these mentor figures.
right.
I still went to their gigs and watched them because I love their music. But
Yeah.
in terms of asking them for help in the business mind, I don't think I already realized, oh, I really can't learn anything from them in this regard,
Mm.
because they probably see me as a competitor or a threat.
Right, right, right. Yeah. But would you say in the music industry, because I know in other YouTube content creating world, sometimes sharing free content actually comes back tenfold or more, because like being generous, sometimes it's the
Yes.
way to actually get people back, right? Not on
Yes.
purpose, but it's almost like if you give out a good feeling of just love and generosity, people like
Yeah.
to support you, right? So would you say that's the same thing for like nowadays in today's business world for music as
Yes.
well?
Yes.
Yeah.
People. This is what I can say is confident. I think we can all agree. People like freebies. You
Yeah,
know,
of
people
course.
like freebies, but you can even go the extra mile. People like the deep cut freebies when you actually
Mm,
go deeper into a specific niche. Oh, for example, I'm just not if someone is sharing a video where, oh, how to be a YouTuber, and he just like says the top 10 very common tips. I think that's already like a passe. But
mm,
instead, if it focuses on one aspect, oh, how to get more views on YouTube by focusing on this secret.
mm,
That's gonna look more generous, because people will see you as an authority figure for
right.
that specific topic, and they will also acknowledge, oh, thank you so much for sharing that supposedly guarded secret. Now I can
Mm,
also learn from you, so thank you. I'm very grateful that you shared that. I'm gonna subscribe to you. And that
mm,
there's that mindset that if you're more generous, the idea is people will actually see that, because
yeah,
even if some the YouTube comments can get nasty sometimes.
right.
People are not stupid. People are smart.
Mhm,
They actually can see through your lies or your
mhm,
honesty, if
mhm.
whatever it is you're going
You're
for.
saying, yeah,
Yeah.
they look at your action, not your words, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Yeah. So Michelle here says artistic skills plus business skills equals awesome success. There you go.
Yes, as long
It's
as you
so true.
follow through. As long
That's
as you
right.
follow through. You can't just rely on a one-time skill. Oh, I'm already good at music, therefore
Mm,
I'm gonna be successful. There's this uh, misconception by lots of people, especially in the arts. Oh,
Mm,
you are already a great artist. Let's say if someone is really talented artist or a
yeah.
really skilled artist or a really skilled musician, oh, you're gonna do well on YouTube or you're gonna do well in the industry. Wrong.
Mm,
Nowadays, even with great skill, and I know great skill, I've seen so much skillful musicians who are dwindling when it comes to YouTube content. They only have like 5 subscribers, and they're even better violinists than me. They're even better composers than me. But why are they not? I thought it had you just needed to be skillful on something to be automatically successful. No,
right,
you
right.
actually need to have the business mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset to actually know to be smart about which right people you should push your
Mm,
content. And I
right.
know which type of people listens to my music. They're the same as me. People who were playing games back
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
80s. That's
And
me.
so, yeah, so you serve them specifically their needs. You give them
Yeah.
what they want.
And nostalgia is such a
Mm,
powerful tool. I mean, what is the most watched show on Netflix? Is it their newest shows? No, it's The
no.
Office. Friends
Yeah.
and The Office.
Right, that's true. That's true. I love that. Yeah. So would you say interpersonal skills is actually part of it as well?
Yes,
Of
yes,
having a
yes.
successful business. Yeah. Because if you're not good at being a good networker and being like friendly to your community, doesn't matter what skills you have, it doesn't translate, right?
I would say it depends on the culture because
Okay.
there are some YouTube personalities who have on brand. They have a harsh personality, but
Okay, I
people
see,
like
right.
them for that.
Right, right. I see.
So I
Okay.
so I guess it would be more like finding the right type of person who can
Mm,
tolerate your brand and they actually live for your brand. And
interesting.
that's because for example, my brand is very wholesome, very chill, very more like the positive vibes. Think Nintendo, the brand of Nintendo, for
Mhm,
example.
mhm, mhm.
Nintendo is like the Disney of the video
Yes,
game
very uplifting.
companies. Yeah, very uplifting. And that is kind of like the brand style that
Mm.
I'm the brand look, the look and feel, even even my color scheme. Yellow, red, that is like pretty much the color scheme of Mario or something like
Right,
that.
right, right.
And that is like the brand I'm going for. It's all very thought out, the imagery that
Mm,
I'm going for,
mm,
but not just because it just not just because it's very friendly to the family crowd, but also because that's actually what I'm passionate about. I grew up playing
mm,
Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda. This is my childhood. This is my
mm.
passion. So I'm pretty much just reliving my childhood every
That's
day.
amazing. Yeah. You just
Yeah.
really like kind of like turning your passion and sharing your happiness with other people
Yes,
almost.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
love
that's
that.
the vibe I'm going for. So
Yeah.
even if in my live streams it's all like very positive, I'm like doing cringe dad jokes and all that. It's like all fun and games. And
Yeah.
I even have this quote that I'm starting to use now that every live music stream is a party. So let's party. Something like that.
Yeah, I love it. See, yeah, Tiffany here says your passion really shows in your VGM arrangements.
Oh,
People
thank you so
feel
much.
that. Yeah, I think it's the energy that you give off. Like right now, even during this Facebook Live or your positive energy, we can all feel that. So we love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much. Yeah,
yeah.
speaking of the passion, you really have to be passionate about what you're doing, because
Mm,
if you're only for example, there are many cases I've seen where there's this very talented musician, but this musician is not really a gamer, not even into that geek or gaming culture, and yet they
hmm.
choose to play video game music just because
And it
it's the
won't.
in thing.
Yeah, it won't
People can
last.
see that. People
Yeah.
can see through your
Mm-hmm.
deceit.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
And
You cannot change your energy.
it will change your energy and it'll kind of leave a sour taste in the crowd that
Mm.
you're supposedly playing for. And it was like, oh, I thought this person was authentic. Turns out they were just like going because it playing this and that because it's
Yes,
the right thing to
yes.
do.
So the answer is authenticity.
Authenticity,
There you go.
authenticity and passion, and of course, that's not enough. You really still need to to think like an entrepreneur.
Right.
You it's an acquired skill. It's an acquired
Yes,
skill that
it
you
can be
have.
learned.
It can be learned, yes, and that's the great thing about that. Even if your passion, that cannot be learned. That has to be,
No,
that is internal.
cultivated within.
That
Yeah.
is what makes you who you are. But you can top it off with business skills, with entrepreneurial skills, with an entrepreneurial mindset where, yes, yes, let's do it. I can do it. Instead of asking, I can't, instead of saying, oh no, I can't do that. I'm not this or that. Instead, you should have the
Mm,
mindset, how can I do that? How can
there
I
you
be
go.
that?
I love that. That's amazing. We can be anything we want if we choose to, but
Yes,
then it
pretty
can
much.
be fueled by passion to
It
be
can
able
be.
to get through the hard times.
Yes, yes. It has to be fueled by passion because even if, like I said earlier, even if video game music, oh, it's all fun and games, it's literally all about fun and games.
Right, literally, yeah.
And you still have to go through the drudgery. Oh, I have to write taxes. I have to do a calendar, a filming schedule. Oh my God, I have to do this poll for my crowd. What?
Hmm.
You still have to do that. You
Yeah.
still, that's part of it. And
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
if you don't have the passion, you're really gonna get dragged down with all this so-called chore-like activity in your niche. But if you have the passion, oh yeah, I love video game music. Why am I doing this? I always ask myself that, like on a
It's
weekly basis.
why.
If I feel down or if I'm like not doing well, oh, this week's numbers didn't look good. Oh, this week's
Yeah.
earnings did not do as well as last week. And then I go back to the question, why am I doing this again? Oh, yes, yes, because I love it. I'm
Mm,
passionate about video game music. I'm a gamer, so this is what I live for. So I moved
mm,
to a country 3,000 miles away because of this. So yeah, like,
yeah.
okay, let's continue. Carry on.
I love that. So maybe I'll just summarize that a little bit. So would you say that you need a why? Number
Yes,
one, it's like, why are you doing what you're doing? And then you need a passion so you can feel the difficult times and make
yes,
what you're doing fun, right?
yes,
Because that's the most important part. And that energy gives off to the audience.
yeah,
And that translates to authenticity because you're not
and
doing for a
also gets
trend, you're doing
engagement.
for you. Yeah. And then money sometimes actually appear because of that.
Yes,
It's a byproduct, not so much
it's,
because you're
it is
chasing it.
a byproduct, not the
Yes.
reason for doing it,
Right.
but
Right.
it is a result of
Yes.
that passion. And people, and I've received so many private messages like this. Oh, SPG, because that's my
Ye-
nickname for my
Okay.
community.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Right.
Hey, SPG, I saw your video on music video and that, and I can feel the passion of your production, blah blah blah. And because I really connected, because I felt that you're authentic, and therefore I
Yeah.
started listening to your music on
See?
Spotify. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. It's not like you said, not just the talent of the musician, but it's the whole package, the
The
personality,
entire
the
package. Yes,
energy, the like everything about you that's like so likable that people would just want to follow you because of that, um, almost not addictiveness, but it's
yeah.
like people want to come back because they feel good.
Yes, it's like a common misconception again is like when people say what talk about brands, they immediately think, "Oh, you
Mm,
mean the logo?" No,
no.
the logo is not the brand. The brand is the entire package. And
Yes.
there's this quote, I forgot who said it, but it's really nice way of describing what a brand is.
Okay.
A brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room.
Yes, I love that. That's so true. That's so true. It's the feeling that you give off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I love it. It's amazing. It's kind of like Apple, think different. It's always
Mm.
like, they're being different, they're being hip, they're being
Yeah,
cool. It's technological, but yeah, it's that the whole package. It's that whole
yeah.
aura that you give off. And
Exactly,
it's important
exactly.
when you build a brand that it becomes quite complicated.
Yeah.
And it has to be consistent, like
Yes,
with
of
the
course.
colors, with the feelings, with like the wording, right? So yeah, like building a business definitely it's can be challenging but very fulfilling at the same time
Mhm.
because it's in your own hands, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Talk,
1000%.
right. Yeah. Talk about money. I'm gonna ask like some questions. Then
Yes,
what
please
do you
ask
make
ahead.
right now? What do you make right now
All right.
in terms of
Uh,
yeah?
my goal was always to be able to support myself
Right.
as a musician
That's right.
and not having to to, like, for example, work in retail or work at a
Yes.
9 to 5, even then I knew that it was like common for someone moving to America. Oh,
Mm,
you have to start with you get a job at a mall, get a job at a grocery store, and work there for a while. I didn't have to do that because I was really, really, really focusing on, no, I don't want to do that. I want to focus on music. And then, having no idea yet of
mm,
what was the living expenses, or what was like the regular corporate working wage in the United
right,
States.
right.
I moved to America and stayed with my uncle in California a while, for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
he made me, oh, you stay with us for a while you get used to living in America, the the daily life in America.
Yeah,
And that was when I learned that when I was telling my aunt, oh, when I was talking to my aunt, so how do you plan to earn money? If I'm doing
right.
the Filipino accent. How do you how do you plan to earn money here in the United States? I was like, I don't know, tita, because tita is like aunt in Tagalog. I don't know, tita,
Okay.
but my YouTube business is actually doing okay, I guess. And then she asked me, why? How much do
Like
you
how much
earn
do you earn?
how much
Yeah.
do you earn on a monthly basis on YouTube? And I told her, I gave her a figure. It's four to 5,000 US dollars a month. And
Nice.
and she was like,
And she's like,
what?
what?
That's
That's a lot.
that's already a full-time job.
That is a full-time
You
job.
don't need to work anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
and, and
Because I
and
guess you had no idea how much the expenses was, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes. But yeah, that the for 2019, I closed the year with 65 grand as
nice.
my as the income, not
Right.
profit. Profit is,
Okay.
of course, lessened by the expenses, but
Right.
that was 2019. And it's not like I want to be a millionaire. And I mean, I wouldn't resist if that
Of
happened,
course. Yeah, we're gonna welcome that.
but I just want a nice living wage comparable to, for example, an accountant with, or a high level
Mhm.
clerk, that I can just, do my own thing every day and
Yes.
live normally with
Yes.
some level of luxury,
Yeah,
and just,
absolutely.
continue doing music. And that's it.
Amazing.
That
That's it.
is that is just the immediate goal.
Yeah, doing what you love. That's amazing. So my question is then, the streams of income comes from YouTube, Spotify, and what else?
Yes, it comes from quite a huge
Right.
number of income streams.
Okay.
So right now, 2020, the biggest income stream for me is Spotify,
Mm.
followed by Twitch, my live
Mm.
streams. For example, the this camera, this very nice camera, a
Yeah,
Sony
I
A,
was gonna say, like, when you
yeah,
compare the two of us, a
this
huge quality
so,
difference here.
yeah, Sony A6400, and these two lights, actually, this two colored lights right here,
Yeah.
was uh was bought through the tips that I earned while I was doing the requests. And
Wow.
someone would like tip up. They really got, like, I guess, into tears of happiness or tears of joy, because I played
Mm,
a piece of music that they really connected to.
I love that.
Sometimes they would tip, oh, $100 tip for you, SPG. Oh my
Wow.
god. And
Wow.
and, and it can get crazy on Twitch. The ceiling
Mm,
is, there is no ceiling.
really?
There is no ceiling. Sometimes I would only earn like $30 on a stream. The next week it's $200, because two people decided to stream. They decided to tip $200 for,
Wow.
because they just enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
But the most consistent one is, so there's Spotify, there's Twitch and YouTube revenue, and I also have the other music platforms like Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon MP3. They also do fine, but not as well as Spotify is doing right now.
Mm,
I also have a Bandcamp account. I also collect royalties from songexchange.com, which is a royalty collection company. I also I also have a Patreon page where
Mm,
I have patrons who pledge to support me, for, like, for example, $1 a month or $5 a month, and they get
right.
reward perks or something like that.
Mm,
And then there's also a paid subscription system as well on Twitch, where
mm,
on it's like a $5 per subscriber for the entire month. And
right.
at any given month I would have a total of like 100 active subscribers on any
Okay.
given month on Twitch.
Oh,
And this subscriber, this when they subscribe, they pay money to Amazon because Amazon owns Twitch, and Amazon
oh,
gives me a cut of that subscription. That's also
I see.
earnings. And then
Mm,
to top it off, I also do accept some freelance gigs, like, oh, for example, of remote freelance gigs. Oh, this composer from this company or this composer from this state or whatever country, they want me to record violin for their music. Okay,
mm,
send me the file. I'll record it on my own studio setup, which is this.
yeah.
I'll send them the music file, and they pay me money through my
Right.
PayPal.
How much you get for per audio like that?
So for example, it can go from, depends on the complexity, but there's like a standard rate of $100 per
Mm,
piece of music, and it can go higher than that if it's like a more
mm,
complex type of piece.
got
Oh,
it.
you want me to play 10, like 10 different violin instances. Okay, that's like 10
Oh,
times the payment as well, or like a package
mm,
deal.
got it.
So there's all these diversified sources of income. It's
Yeah.
not just YouTube. YouTube is like the discovery place. Like I said, it
Right.
is the showroom.
It's the
We're talking
showcase.
car analogy, YouTube is the showroom. Spotify,
Mm,
and by extension, all those other music platforms like
mm,
Spotify, Apple Music, and all that is like
where you make the money.
the back room where the contracts are signed.
Got it.
And for live streaming is like the couch area where you can engage and talk to your audience.
Mm, I love
So
that. So would you say in any, well, I mean, a general formula for most content creators would to be putting their content in a certain different platforms, but depending on what they are, so they can
yes,
showcase it. And then the
yes,
second component is to where they can make the money, and then a community so that people can
yes,
engage
exactly.
together. So that's kind of like the whole package.
Yeah, that is like what we call the online creators funnel. You
Mm,
need a main discovery platform like YouTube, and then you need to have a platform for income.
right,
It's like the back end income
yeah,
royalties, like I get
right,
royalties, and then a community area that
mm,
can be Twitch, and that can be Discord or an email list.
right,
It has to complement your type of content. For
yes.
example, we have an emerging type of content creators that's going successful on TikTok, and
Oh, yes, yes,
TikTok is a short form content platform.
that's
And
right.
then I'm not entirely sure about if they have like revenue sharing on TikTok as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
For example, these successful TikToks would get sponsorships. They
Mm,
probably have a merch store where they sell, I don't know, shirts or mugs or
yeah, or anything. Yeah,
or anything. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Also, I forgot. I also have a merch store where I sell like
Oh, we do.
shirts with my logos and stuff like that. But yeah, it's you kind of have to do everything.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
need you need all your hands in everything,
yeah.
but with one focus, which is your brand. It
Mm,
has to always center on the main brand that you do. And in
right.
fact, I even have an alternate faceless brand, which is not String Player Gamer. I call it Video Game Music Box, and that
Okay.
is a totally different brand where I
Wow.
produce music. Reproduce video game music in lullaby form, and
Oh,
that is one of my most successful side projects. It's super low overhead because I only
mm,
need to produce one album like every month,
mm.
which I can finish in 2 days. In fact, I even did just a live stream 2 days ago, uh, can I finish this album of Music Box in one day? I finished it in 8 hours.
Wow, that's amazing. You get better and better at this.
Yeah, it just getting, it just keeps getting easier the more and more you do it. So now I can, and this Music Box is just not even promoting it. I'm not even promoting it. It's growing organically on its
That's the
own.
best.
And because apparently there's a market for music box arrangements of stuff, and I can see people using it as intended. They are replaying the entire playlist over and over again during the night, because you can see that what
Ah,
time it's being played or something like that. And that's
interesting.
even a separate facet of me that I don't normally.
Mm,
I just string player gamer is all about the music of string instruments, guitars, and all that, and the fun, positive vibe. And video game music box is just, oh, this is for relaxing, and the
yeah,
other,
yeah,
something like that. It's so
yeah.
I'm pretty much working two separate brands,
Wow.
but the other brand can be passive.
Which is
And
amazing. That's
yeah,
another diversified income.
yeah, exactly. So yeah,
Yeah. And I guess once you know how to run one business, then you can apply the same model to the next one. It's just towards a different
yes,
brand, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
For example, there's this amazing music online marketer and musician as well that I follow, called Leah McHenry, and she runs a community and an academy called Savvy Musician Show,
Okay.
or Savvy Musician Academy. And she has taught that if you're going to sell merchandise, it has to coincide with your branding or your
Mm,
imagery as well. For example, Leah McHenry, she is a symphonic metal musician,
mhm.
and most of her songs are sounding like Enya, but with a metal backtrack.
Okay.
So naturally, with that kind of imagery, she always posts about stuff like Lord of the Rings or
Mm,
wars and castles.
so it's coherent. Mm,
It is coherent. So, for example, my Facebook page, I everyone who follows me knows I'm a video game musician. So
right.
what do I post? I post video
Video
game
games.
memes.
Yeah.
I post some of my opinions on the new video games release and stuff like that. It's
Mm,
within the culture,
okay.
and it adds to your authenticity. Oh, this
Yeah.
guy is actually a gamer. Yeah, he knows what
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
doing.
Of course. Yeah. That makes it so much more interesting. That's
And
amazing.
has also to reflect your merch. So, example,
Right.
for going back to Leah, she also sells scented candles with embroideries like elvish patterns or something like. It's within
Smart.
brand, something like that.
Yes, but you can then branch off to so many creative ideas. Just
Yes,
anything that's
exactly.
related to it, really.
As long as it's within the culture, people are gonna
Perfect.
engage with it.
Amazing. And the most important question then is, where can the audience find you? Do you teach courses for musicians? You did say.
Not yet. I,
Not
I don't
yet.
I don't
That
have
can
any
be another
official.
thing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's something that I'm also building off on, but depends. It depends.
Yeah.
Already have so many hands in so
I
many
know you
baskets.
do one thing at a time.
Yes, one thing at a time. But what I do instead is I approach some musicians, because it has to. I before I even approach any musician that I am willing to help, they first
Mm.
have to show some independent effort first.
Oh, I love
And
that.
it's not like they're gonna approach me immediately and ask, "Oh, hey, Diwa, can you help me?"
Right.
I'll be like, "What have you actually done for yourself first?"
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes. It's
very
true.
super picky. I'm
Mm.
very I don't even announce that I mean, I don't even announce to this person that I'm gonna help them. When I see them exerting effort from a distance, just like
Mm.
I'm just being a fan. Oh, looks like this person is really building something from themselves, but I think they could use some help in this area.
Mm.
And that is the only time I would manifest in their life, or I may
Ah.
already have been a friend in their life, but if I know they want to build a music business for themselves, I'm gonna be distant for the meantime until I see, oh, okay, you've reached stage two. Okay,
Mm.
that's the only time I will privately
Oh,
offer my
that's
help.
very
And
nice.
that's for now. I only do that privately.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, I don't know, because I only want to deal with the passionate people.
Yes, yeah, you have to qualify them first because if you're going to teach them everything and they're not going to be motivated to do anything, what's the point in teaching them, right?
Oh yeah, and Tiffany says here, stringies are such a positive and
And
supportive
supportive
community.
community,
Exactly,
yes.
exactly. I'm always grateful for my community, which we call the stringies, because string player
That's
gamer.
so cute. I love that. I know we have a lot of your community here today to watch a show.
Yes,
They're very supportive. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, just to wrap it up, because I know I'm definitely excited to go watch all your performances. Where can the audience find you on YouTube? Is it called String Player Gamer?
yeah. Just you can just Google string player gamer, and you will find immediately all the platforms that I'm
Mm,
in. If you're more into the YouTube and the produced videos, look for string player gamer on YouTube. If
yeah,
you're more into audio and just listening passively while you're working, just look for string player gamer on Spotify or
yeah.
Apple Music or whichever music streaming platform that you play. I think I'm also even in Pandora.
Mm,
um and if you want to catch me doing a live stream performance every twice or sometimes thrice every week, just also search for String Player Gamer on Twitch, and
amazing.
you will find me there. It's easy to find because I worked on it that way to make it
Yeah,
easy
yeah. You
for me.
right on the algorithm. It's clear.
Yes,
Amazing. Thank you so much, DY. This has been so informative in so many ways, like inspiring for artists, of course, but just actually across all industries,
yeah,
people who want to work online, because the same thing applies to all of us,
yeah,
to be
exactly.
able to apply your passion with entrepreneurial skills and interpersonal skills and just being smart about it is
Mhm.
so important. And we know that passion sometimes comes with hard work
Yes.
and is part of the deal. And if we want to produce results like yours where you can work online and be passive,
Mm.
I mean, there's no free lunch in this world. You still have to work.
I know. And the sad thing sometimes is the hard work part that nobody can see that.
Right,
Nobody can
in the
see that
background.
happen. It happens behind the scenes.
Yes, yes. So we're just going to tell you the reality, but then I'm sure the fruits of your labor, it's really
Yeah.
worth it at the end
Yeah,
of the
it's
day.
super worth it. Super
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And if you have any
Thank
questions
you.
at all, type in the comments below, and then we'll get Diwa to come answer if he's
Yes.
free.
Feel free to ask anything.
Yeah, and then go find him. Are you on Instagram and Facebook as well?
Yes,
Are
I
you?
am. I'm in all the social media pages except Tumblr, I guess.
Okay.
It's a
Wow. So
different
you're
different
really
crowd.
everywhere. That's amazing.
And
That's
it
great.
also helps that I use an app that posts on multiple social media platforms all at
Mm.
once. So
So then
yeah,
you don't have to do it
you
several
have,
times.
yes, exactly. You just really use all the tools that you can do to make things faster,
Yes.
not necessarily shortcut things, but just to make it more efficient that you can focus
Yeah.
on the other important stuff.
Important stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you and next week again on Unconventional Asians. Thank you for being such an inspiration, Diwa.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Happy to
everyone.
help. Happy to help.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.